Gebhard Giordano, your host, along with Todd Flesner, our other co-host.
Hey, Deb, how you doing?
Hey, good. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Folks can watch us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on Channel 26, local public TV, serving all of Milpitas.
Yeah, we're glad you tuned in.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining
us. So
us.
you brought a guest today.
I did. I'd love to introduce folks to Geraldine Serrano. Geraldine has an interesting line of work that she's involved in. We're going to get a chance to chat with her a little bit about that. She was with a company called Bedford Cost Segregation, and we're going to find out a little bit what in the world is cost segregation. What does that mean? Why might someone be interested in that? So, Geraldine, first of all, let me just welcome you. We're glad that you've joined us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, good. So
like we begin all of our shows, we like to know a little bit more about our guests. So tell us about where you grew up, maybe a little bit about your background, and what brought you here to this area.
Sure. So I was born and raised in the Bay Area. I grew up in Fremont. I went to elementary school, junior high, and my freshman year in high school there. And my parents, my family moved to Danville between my freshman and sophomore year. So I graduated from high school in Danville. And I still live in the Bay Area. My parents and my friends are still here. I met Todd at the Capitol Club, and he invited me to come on the show.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you with us. And so as we sat there at the Capitol Club and talked a little bit about cost segregation, it was an interesting conversation because a lot of folks may not know what that is. But first of all, I'd like to find out just a little bit, how about you got into that line of work? What was it that led you to your current position?
Sure. So I have a friend that has been in the cost segregation business for about a decade, and we're good friends, and he, at one point in time, had more business than he could handle. And so we talked about me helping him with his this business that he couldn't attend to. So I started out helping him, and fast forward to today, I have my own client, so I no longer help him.
All right. Well,
okay. What does your company actually do for business owners?
So we help building owners and tenants find tax incentives that help them manage their commercial real estate and improve their cash flow.
Okay. So cost segregation, then, you're really working with commercial landlords, tenants. You work with the owners of that property, correct?
Right. So we work with a lot of building owners.
Okay.
So cost segregation is our bread and butter. So cost segregation accelerates the depreciation on buildings and on tenant improvements. And basically what it is, so when someone buys a building, it's depreciated over 27 and a half years if it's multifamily and 39 years if it's a commercial building. Well, the IRS says that there's many components of a building that can be depreciated faster, like the flooring, crown molding, decorative lighting. So there's many components that can be depreciated over 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 years versus 27 and a half and 39 years. And what that means to a building owner or a tenant is that they get the depreciation up front versus spread out over a long period of time.
Okay. Well, I imagine that might be because things like tenant improvements, things that are more, architectural in nature or, or wear out quicker, those need to be replaced or updated on a sooner basis. Is that correct? Or?
Right. So, for example, carpet's not going to last 27 and a half and 39 years. So that's why the IRS says certain components can be depreciated faster.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess you would remodel and update the look of a building perhaps to keep current. Would that be something that might be involved in that?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of building owners and tenants that, you're right, would make sure to do a lot of repair, maintenance, or remodel in order to keep up, to make sure everything is current or contemporary.
All right.
Okay, so we talked about accelerated depreciation or tax advantages. Explain how that works, exactly, the accelerated depreciation.
So basically, instead of a building that's being depreciated over 27.5 and 39 years, we'll do this study that will literally itemize which components of a building that can be placed into shorter lives, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 year lives versus the 27.5 or 39-year lives. So basically, we hand over this cost segregation study to their CPA or whoever's doing their taxes, and they make the changes on the depreciation schedule. And what that means is that the client gets to take advantage of the accelerated depreciation and enjoy the tax savings up front versus it being spread out over a long period of time.
Okay, Geraldine. So do you know which of those items are acceptable by IRS, or do you allow the CPA to do that and comb through that study? How does that work?
That's a good question. So our engineers, so we have an engineering and a tax department that create this report. So they use the IRS's guidelines to show what components can be placed into shorter lives.
Okay. All right.
Good. So now you said cost segregation was just a portion of what your business does. What other sort of things do you provide your clients?
So we do offer other services. We do a asset management study, a unit of property report, and a recap study. Basically, these reports have to do with the new IRS regulations that became effective January 1st of 2014. So basically, these new rules that the IRS put out, it says that anything over $500, any expense over $500 has to be capitalized unless you opt into these new regulations where you could possibly write off those type of expenses.
Okay.
And then
sounds complex.
Yeah.
Sounds like they need you. Well spent money to have your service, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. When the regulations came out, a lot of the CPAs were upset because, January 1st is the start of their busy time of the year, and to read through the regulations and to figure out what they need to do was just a daunting task for them.
Okay.
And the other, just really quickly, the other services that we offer is we help our clients see if they can qualify for the 179D, which is the energy tax credit, and the research and development tax credit.
Oh, good. So that's another good benefit. So, crystal ball, trends in the future. What do you see coming down in terms of IRS guidelines or in terms of accelerated depreciation? See any changes in that, or how would you guide your clients?
Well, right now, because of these new regulations that I just mentioned that are referred to as the TPRs, we see more and more CPAs and building owners and tenants needing this type of help so that they can figure out what they can write off and maximize their write-offs. So in the past year or so, we've seen more and more CPAs and clients looking to us to help them figure out what they can and cannot write off. So that's what we actually see more of right now.
Okay.
Good. Any other challenges you see on the horizon for investment property owners, ways that you can help them out?
Well, so the challenges that our clients have are cash flow, and for the building owners, financing options. But for me here on the West Coast, I meet a lot of people that have never heard of cost segregation. So I think
I hadn't.
So I think right now it's about educating the building owners, tenants, and the CPAs on how it would benefit their clients as a tax saving strategy.
Okay.
Well, good.
So you must like what you do.
I do.
And you've been at this how long? How many years?
I've been with Bedford since 2014, so I've definitely enjoyed meeting the people in my line of work.
So I would assume being a helper and help. I imagine there's a win-win. So what do you get as a benefit from your job? What do you like?
I definitely like helping out these clients that aren't aware of this tax saving strategy, and I like being able to bring them an estimate on how much they can save, and then when we actually do the report, when I deliver it, I'm able to show them how we were able to save them more than we estimated.
Okay.
Good. How about any future goals or aspirations?
Professionally, I would love to make sure that more and more CPAs and building owners and tenants know about our services to help them be informed about these tax saving strategies. And then personally, I would I want to be able to help the nonprofit organization that I volunteer for, called the Ambassadors of Hope and Opportunity. Right now, for this year, their goal is to raise $40,000 for their housing fund that will provide housing for the homeless youth that are between the ages of 18 and 25.
Wow.
It's been, I'm volunteering for this group, and it brings me joy that I'm able to help out, because I work with these kids, and to see how they have no place to go and they live out of their cars, they have nowhere to take a shower, and they're working 2 to 3 jobs because they can't afford a place in the Bay Area. It makes me feel good that I'm able to help someone that is not as
So
fortunate.
with that said, we typically like to put out on the screen your contact information for your business.
Sure.
But do you have the contact information for that nonprofit? If anybody, do you have a phone number, an email address, or a website?
Sure.
Let's do that first.
Okay.
For your group.
So to contact me, my number is area code 510-497-0575. Or if you prefer to email me, my email address is gserrano@bedfordteam.com. That's GSERANO@bedfordteam.com. And to find out more information about AHO, you can go online to ahoproject.org.
And spell that again.
Oh, AHOPROJECT.org.
Great.
Terrific. Well, Geraldine, it's been a delight having you with us. Thanks for educating us about cost segregation. I think that's probably something that a lot of folks weren't aware of, particularly the new tax saving strategies that are out there. So thanks for coming in and sharing that with us.
Well, thank you both for having me.
All right.
Lazy bones, loafing through the day. You always seem to find the easy way, moving like you're rolling gray. Never heard a word I say.
All over America, entire families are backsliding. We're no longer just sedentary, we're stationary, and that's bad news for your bones. At any age, bones need weight-bearing activity to grow strong and stay strong. So go outside, take the steps, play with the dog. Just get up, get out, get moving.
Never keep your bones that way. Never heard a word I say.
A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. Debbie and Giordano, along with Todd Flesner. We're here to do a April wrap-up. Actually, we're in the month of May, but we'll be looking at some April statistics. So let you know what's going on in the real estate world. But before we do that, Todd, let's talk about mortgages.
Sure, be happy to.
There's a lot. In fact, there's an article in the San Jose Mercury that says what you should know about mortgages. Why don't you tell the folks kind of what is the groundwork they need to lay in getting prepared, and what should they be thinking and doing in terms of that process?
Well, as you know, when someone comes in to buy a home, they really need to have done their homework in terms of what their finances are. So a bank or a mortgage broker is going to ask you for a lot of documents. All right, so they're going to ask you about your tax returns and your pay stubs and your bank statements.
How many years on the tax returns?
2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years of tax returns and 2 months of bank statements. And we're going to want all of the pages. So banks are very, very thorough. So you're going to need to be prepared to have all that documentation readily available. And they'll go through it and they'll take a look at it and examine it and see how that lines up with your ability to get a loan.
Okay. Who does the employment verification? Is that something your company does? Or?
Well, yeah, that's part of the process. Is all of the information you provide for your loan gets verified. So whether that's the employment, we'll actually call and verify that you're employed there. Some employers have a third party, like the Work Number is one, where we'll call and verify that through a third party that their employer utilizes. We'll verify bank deposits. We're going to verify with the IRS that the tax returns that you provided to us are indeed the ones that you filed with the IRS. Okay. So there's all sorts of verification that goes on in that process. That's why it takes a bit of time. There are lots of rules as well.
Now, would that person getting the mortgage do this to get pre-approved? Or would you get them pre-approved first and then go through that verification?
Well, for a full pre-approval, really, I want to verify that information. I want to take a look at it. Now, I've been doing this long enough. I can take a look at the documents and I know, what that process is and what our likelihood of that getting through the underwriting process is. Okay. But I want to see it. I want to actually verify that up front that we're going to be good to go. But do know that there's going to be a secondary set of eyes that look at that verifies everything you provided to your loan officer.
Is there a time? How much time should somebody take to go through that process?
Well, it varies from place to place how long it takes them to do that initial screening, if you will. A pre-approval typically is good for 90 days or so. What I like to tell folks is if you're out shopping for a home and you come in and get pre-approved, what we'll do is if it takes you a little bit of time, we'll simply refresh the information and the documentation in your file. We'll make sure that it's all current at the time that we're ready to go.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But yeah, everything needs to be current.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, interest rates. Where are we going? Where's your crystal ball?
My crystal ball. Right now, there's some uncertainty in the market. The Fed has been making some noise about do they raise interest rates again sometime this summer. Is it going to be June? Is it going to be July? We don't quite know yet. But anytime that the Fed starts talking about interest rate policy, there's some anxiety in the market, and so we're seeing a little bit of that right now. So interest rates have gone up just slightly, about an eighth. There's some
stock market's been dipping a little bit.
A little bit. Well, and again, that's partly on some of that uncertainty about what those financial markets and what the policy might be going forward. So when we see the Fed come out with a definitive statement about where they're headed, we'll see markets calm back down again.
And then of course election year. I mean, typically there's probably some volatility in that uncertainty with the election year.
There is. We're still a ways out, and so it's too early for politics really to enter into that equation.
Okay.
The Fed's really going to be looking more at the broader economic sort of numbers at this point in time. But as we get closer and closer to November, and actually after November, when there's some certainty about where policy might be headed based on the election results, that might also then trigger some things in direction with the market.
All right. Very good.
Yeah. So how about the market here? Let's say someone's looking to get their home ready to go on market. What are some of the things that you would recommend for them?
Well, thank you for asking. So let's look at, first thing, you look at the outdoors. Mm-hmm. It's good to spruce up your garden and your lawn. We've had a drought. Mm-hmm. And I do tell my clients, we're best to go out even with a green lawn,
right?
Even in these conditions. So you should spruce that up. Everything should be neat and tidy in the yard and the patio. Maybe paint your front door. People neglect their front door. That's definitely a first impression kind of thing. Exterior, Check your house numbers, check your mailbox, make sure it's not rusty. Exterior lighting that's good. Touch up any fresh paint that's needed. Inspect the chimney for cracks and earthquake damage. Repair any loose or trim pipes, drain pipes. Clean stains and clean windows. Make sure window screens and all. Okay, garage. Remove clutter. And now this talks about actually cleaning up the garage more, but I'm okay with folks moving stuff out of the house and into the garage for storage, because that's kind of a last issue. That's not a big deal. Living areas. Make sure everything's freshly painted. Just kind of basic thing. Clean carpets. These are things people overlook, believe it or not.
Well, I imagine you're used to living in your home, and you're used to the way that it looks. And sometimes a fresh set of eyes makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
And so is that part of what, as a real estate agent, helping someone prepare their home for market, is it an important part of that role?
Part of the deal. Make sure replace any burned out light bulbs. Clean the fireplace. Remove smoke stains. Clean the window coverings. Replace any damaged blinds. In the kitchen, sinks, appliances, and countertops should sparkle. Remove any clutter, clean all the appliances, oven, range, and clean the tile and maybe re-grout. Most folks now have granite or corian tops, so they don't have the tile. But bathrooms, clean mirrors. Okay, just general cleaning with the bathroom. Fix any drips. Recalk is necessary. Closets and doors should open and close easily. And then remove any clutter. Shoes and clothes should be neatly arranged. Best advice, move out. If you're going to sell your home, actually, that's been my mantra of late. It's much easier. Move out, move on to the next place, or you've got a client that's actually moving into a hotel. It's better you can stage up a home that's vacant with the modern look, and it sells quicker and it looks much better.
Well, I would imagine as well, if you're trying to live in your home while you're trying to have it pristine, that's a difficult thing to do.
It's very
particularly
hard.
I think if you would have children or pets in the house.
Yep. Want to hear some numbers?
What's going on in the market?
Okay, real quick, we're being signaled out. April 2015, we had an average price of Milpitas of $875,000, median price of $899,000. That has now jumped to last month, April, $950 for average price. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
$910 for a median price. Condos were $564,000, average $557 median price, and that has inched its way up to $596,000 average price, and $615 for a median price. So there you go. That's 1 year of appreciation.
Well, we've had a good, strong real estate market here in Milpitas. It's a place that folks want to live.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, good. It's been great spending time with you today and the folks here.
Yeah, real quick, email address?
T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com. And for yourself?
GiordanoDJ at AOL.com. Thank you very much for watching Valley Homes on TV. We'll see you next time.